About you. Let me tell you a really quick story. If you relate to it or resonate with it in any way, read the book. If you don't, use it as a doorstop and move on. While attending a family business conference held at a stunning resort, I got chatting to an older bloke who had a very successful manufacturing business employing around 2,000 people. After telling me a little bit about his business, he asked what I did. So I explained that I work with businesses just like his to help them navigate the additional challenges of family enterprise. He was intrigued and went on to outline some of the challenges he was facing in his own family business. His wife had been instrumental in the business. In fact, she had started it, but he had turned it into something that was scalable. He employed his sister, who worked in operations, as well as his daughter and his son. His son had made a significant contribution, having created a proprietary process that was now the business's main point of difference in the marketplace. And his daughter was also making a positive impact, leading the traditional front end of the business. He also had 2 other children who were not involved in the business. Although his son and daughter's roles were fairly clear and didn't really cross over, there was unspoken angst around what was going to happen in the future. What he described was the typical Gordian knot of complexity that weaves through every family business. It was clear these issues were causing him deep concern. After a few minutes, he turned to me and said, "So what do I do?" By the time we arrived at the new venue for the next session, a walk of about 15 to 20 minutes, I had outlined what he should do and in what order. Essentially, I explained what's in this book, giving him a snapshot of the importance of eliciting the 4 voices from the business and family, and why. He looked shocked. Grabbing my arm, he spun me around so we were no longer walking side by side but facing each other. Clearly, he had thought his question was rhetorical. "So, hang on. Are you telling me there is a way to do this?" For years, I've been told by accountants, consultants, and lawyers that this is just the way it is in family business. Some sort of pecking order would sort itself out eventually. Are you telling me that's not true? Are you telling me there's a proven way, a system or formulae that will sort it out? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. There is always a best way to do anything, including a best way to manage love, loyalty, family wealth, and succession. All you need to do is apply thinking systems to the Gordian knot and the challenges unravel. This book is the best way. If you want to know how to unravel that Gordian knot right now, once you've read the introduction and chapters 1 and 2, you could skip forward to part 3 and read from there. You will get the answers you are looking for, but you won't fully grasp the problems. This is a little like the parable about giving a man a fish versus teaching him how to fish. If you skip to part 3, and I fully appreciate your desire to do so, the book will give you the fish. But because you don't fully understand why the Gordian knot was created in the first place, you may find yourself repeating patterns and behaviours that made the knot in the first place. As such, you may not reap the full benefits of the book. I get it, you're busy. Businesses don't run themselves, and family businesses, as this book will attest, bring exponential issues to deal with. But I strongly recommend you learn how to fish. Read part 1 and part 2 because they set the scene and allow you to fully appreciate why the answers laid out in part 3 onwards actually work. What you will read in these pages, wherever you decide to start, is the sort of families in business, including the management of their wealth and effective succession. It is also worth noting that the value in these pages magnifies as the wealth, sustainability, and complexity of a family business increases. Like beauty, most of us recognise that wealth is relative and it can mean different things to different people. Wealth may mean a level of freedom to spend quality time with those you love. For others, wealth can simply be measured in dollars and cents. No one version is any better or worse than the other. Just because a family has money does not make them superior to a family with limited resources. This is especially important to remember should you find yourself marrying into a family with different financial resources than those you grew up with. This is not opinion, and nor is it any type of social commentary. There is no inference or suggestion that wealthy people are better, smarter, more important, or happier than those who are not wealthy. In fact, the irony is that the only category of people in the world who know for sure that money doesn't buy happiness is the wealthy. But for the purposes of this book, let's define wealth in a way that further helps you decide if you will benefit from reading it. Establishment wealth. Level 1. This is the wealth created by the founder of the business. The challenges we explore in these pages are unlikely to derail establishment wealth, but if you're at level 1 and want to make sure you can reach level 2 and level 3, then you should read this book. Foundational wealth. Level 2. This is the wealth that extends beyond the founder. Typically, this means more than enough has been made for the founder to live comfortably and have sufficient resources to help their children, parent, or siblings. If the foundational wealth is wrapped up in the business you want to pass on to the next generation, then you will almost certainly be subject to some of the challenges in this book. You must read it. Generational wealth. Level 3. This is the wealth that extends beyond the family. If you have more money than you or your children could ever reasonably use or spend in your lifetimes, you have accumulated generational wealth. If you find yourself in this position, then you face the challenges that inspired me to write this book, and you will be subject to all the problems and opportunities we're about to explore. You are also most at risk of the family business curse. More on that shortly. You can't afford not to read this book. Bottom line, financial wealth can be a blessing or a curse. Whether it ends up being a blessing or a curse for you and the people you love is inextricably linked to your understanding of and appreciation for the 4 voices.